love that middle pickup. Okay, anyways, enough. Enough. It's the Deluxe Reverb Tone Master. Not the regular Deluxe Reverb, it's the Tone Master. And I bought this. They first came out, and I was like, well, I don't really need one, but I didn't need all the other stuff I have either. So I went ahead and bought one. It came in 3 to 5 business days from one of those really big stores. And when I opened the box, it was like, man, this thing really looks, and it even feels like a Deluxe Reverb. The grill's real like abrasive, and the actual covering's really nice, and the handle's great, and just everything about it's really great. It just has that look, it has that vibe to it. You don't really like miss any of the real Fender the Fender kind of stuff that that you would expect from a Deluxe Reverb. So anyways, I like the full 22 watts. It's my favorite setting, but the attenuator switch on the back will give you, I don't know the exact settings, but if you knock it all the way down, it can go to 1/4 of a watt, I believe. That's pretty low. That would be like just practicing, I guess, like, I don't know where, but maybe if there was like little animals or like babies or something, you could put it on like 1/4 of a watt, but 1/2 a watt seems pretty reasonable. And it kind of has that breakup like you'd expect, right around like 6.5. That volume on 6.5. 8.5 is even more gritty. I've never really put a blackface Fender on 10, but it's, I guess, it's a little bit too like gritty for me. But like I say, I like the full 22 watts, and I like my amp at about like, I don't know, what is that, 4, something like that. The bass and the treble are very responsive. It's not like a PV where you turn it and it's like does a lot and very, very, very little movement. It's not like that, but it's just a little bit more responsive than you'd probably expect from like the tube version, but nothing really crazy. The reverb itself is pretty pretty impressive. That's it on 2. If you turn it up to like 5, it's just quite a lot. And anything beyond that's almost like kind of a little bit unusable. For me anyways. I wish maybe you could like, the only thing I could really like say about the amp, because I love what Fender did with this amp, I wish that you could maybe like plug in your phone and like adjust like the taper to it or something. I don't know. Doesn't really sound like possible, but it'd be nice. I like it around 2. But the speed and intensity are, I guess they're pretty usable, kind of for like but that's there. I don't use that feature really too much, and like I say, the reverb at like 2 is just perfect. The back does have the attenuator switch. You can go direct out, which is pretty cool. It has microphone simulators. I put it on number 1. Not that I know what it really sounds like necessarily like in the real world out there. I just think number one, from my experience, seemed to sound the best. And then on the reviews on YouTube, it sounds pretty good too. The reason I bought this amp wasn't because I really needed it. I have the Supersonic that I actually take out and play guitar with, but I've been playing the steel guitar, the pedal steel, a lot, and on the certain occasions where I have to play both guitar and steel, I needed something to take to rehearsals so I wouldn't have to drag around like 2 amps all the time. And it was like, well, I'm just going to buy this because I'm curious about it and I can use it for that. It does work for the steel. Probably not ideal, but it's pretty good. And just in general, there's not a lot to complain about for whatever you're using it for. The 22 watts is a little bit deceiving. It seems like it's probably like 80 watts or something, which is great. More headroom is nice. It just has a really good sound. It doesn't have like a characteristic like solid state sound to it. Like sometimes you get that kind of like boomy, like low end, but this just sounds pretty much authentic. It's not exactly like a tube amp, but it's close enough for it not to really matter. Only things I can complain about when you put it, I don't like how when you put it on standby, the direct out still works. I understand the logic behind it. I just wish that maybe you could like choose if you want that. I'm so used to putting an amp on standby and then, you know, I walk away and it's still technically on through the PA. But it doesn't have an effects loop, but who cares? The speaker, I would say the speaker probably does need broken in. It seems a little bit like kind of unrefined. The more you play, the better it kind of sounds. It has that more like focused kind of sound to it. But once again, I bought this when they first came out and I've probably played it pretty much exclusively ever since. So I have quite a bit of time on it. I really like the amp. There's not much to say about it. It's super, super light unless you're like me and you load up the bottom of it with a bunch of stuff like extension cords and it weighs as much as a real one. But it's just a really good thing. So anyways, thanks for visiting Dave's World as always, and yeah.